What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Beeflo the Barber coming back to you a little late on this lovely Monday. So today's topic we're going to be going over is why I decided basically to become a barber. So to give you a little backstory, I basically started, or my first little job or gig was behind my house umpiring baseball games. And I was basically averaging at the time in high school about $30 an hour. Now I wasn't working like 8 hours a day or whatever, but that's what I realized. I was like, man, if I could replicate $30 an hour, that would be a pretty good wage. So at that age, I decided to kind of look into jobs that would make me that kind of money, and find something that I felt like I was called to do or enjoyed or could do and do as a profession, career, job, blah. So I looked for a long time, and I'm personally, this coffee's getting me. Personally, I like caring for people. So I looked into getting into the nursing field. My mother wanted to be a nurse since forever and 3/4. She works in the medical field. She enjoys it. She hates it. She has her good days, has her bad days. My old man, my pops, has worked oil field for I don't know how long. He retired, did early retirement with Shell Oil Company in the Gulf. Came back home, retired with Walmart, and then now he still works, over there at National Oil of Arco. It's now D-Now, over there in Kilgore. It's a little, oil field, inside, outside sales, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of my parental family history or whatever, other than and job wise. But whenever I was in school, they had us take tests and different things that would tell us what we might be good at or we might enjoy doing with our lives. And one of them was nursing. So I went to school for nursing. I graduated high school as a sophomore in college. I took a lot of dual credit in high school. And whenever I got ready to go back to college at like 21, 22, because I wasn't real fond on the idea of taking student loans, I kind of went to work so I could pay my own way. I never asked my parents to pay for my schooling or anything like that, so I always, either got it through scholarships or got it out the mud and worked for myself for this or that and paid for it. I have had help along the way or whatever for sure, but like for the majority part, I paid for 95% of my schooling at least. But now, fast forward a little bit, I was in class one day in anatomy and physiology, and when I was in high school, that was my favorite thing to learn, was the anatomy and physiology of the body, because I enjoyed the medical side of science. Well, I want to say 21, 22 or whatever in class, and I just remember one day sitting in there and it was miserable. I just didn't have that passion for it anymore. And it wasn't that I didn't enjoy medicine or like what it could, healing people, I guess, not just medicine, healing people. It wasn't that. I just really didn't enjoy science anymore. Boom, I guess, And so something went off in my head that, maybe I should hold off and look for some other, way of doing what I want to do. So when I was a young man, and I was making about $30 an hour, calling baseball games, I just remember thinking, wow, if I could replicate $30 an hour, right? So one day, I was getting my hair cut by my buddy, Daniel Cooley, and I just remember sitting in his chair over at the shop, over at Bernardo's Barber Shop in Longview. My boy had been cutting hair for I'd probably say a year or two now. And he had been working for Bernardo's shop probably equally that long. And I just remember asking him, because I didn't know exactly what barbers made or, whatever. And that was, I wanted to make sure my boy was doing good, I was still working at Harley Davidson in sales at the time. And I asked him, I said, man, I'm curious. I said, how you doing? You doing good? And he's like, yeah, bro, good. Killing it, whatever. I was like, well, how much do you average a cut now? So, and room goes silent, pin drops, whatever, you know, because that's like the notorious question people ask their barbers or whatever, right? And he was like, man, to be honest with you, right now I'm doing really well, and right now I'm averaging about $30 a haircut. And I was like, whoa, ooh, woo, boom, mind blown. Like $30 for a haircut. That's impressive. Not to mention this guy cuts very good hair. You know, like he is a great barber, just like, you know, many other barbers or this or that, but like people don't charge what they're worth a lot of times. And I just remember I asked Danny, I was like, man, how do you get to $30? He's like, really, it's kind of simple, bro. He's like, my haircuts don't cost $30 yet. I think Daniel's raised his prices or this or that over time maybe, but long story short, he said, you know, at the time he was getting $20 for a haircut, $5 for an appointment, and my boy was building up clientele quickly. So to be honest with you, if you didn't get an appointment, you didn't get cut by Daniel. That's the kind of business he was starting to run, and he's building clientele at that time. And so it was 25 after the appointment, and he's like, bro, for the majority part, like, you know, everybody tips their artist, everybody tips their, you know, barber or whatever. So it's like they usually give me the $5 tip at least, $30. Boom. Whoa. So I'm like, wow, you could probably cut in, you know, somebody's head in an hour. I know most of the time it doesn't take me an hour to get a haircut kind of thing. He's like, yeah, bro, you can cut multiple heads in an hour. You know, I try to give my clients my time, you know, but at the same rate, yeah, you can definitely cut more than one head an hour. And I was like, holy good Lord, you could really make some money if you could continually drive traffic. And at the time, like I said, I was working in sales. And tell you a little bit about the money I was making back then. I was like 19, 20, 21 at the time when I was working for Harley. And every brand new bike I sold, I got about $325 flat rate, whatever, towards my commission. If I sold a used bike, it'd be like $250 flat rate. If I sold a CVO, which was a custom vehicle operations, which was a $40,000+ motorcycle, I would make about $425 off of that. And I got $25 an appointment. I got monthly averages, like other things, and they would throw in money spiffs, this and that in between there. But if you didn't sell roughly 5 bikes, you didn't get your commission check, and you basically got paid $11 an hour for working over there, sales, Harley Davidson, blah 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 blah. So I eventually, whenever that light went off in my head, I got to thinking, I was like, man, at the time when I was working for Harley Davidson, my boss, Rob Edwards, he had this saying, he used to tell us all the time, and I pray to God one day he watches this and sees this. But my dude would always say, a bike a day and 2 on Saturday. And what that meant was he wanted you to make $325 a day, and then on Saturday he wanted you to kill it and make you some good money, some $650. Now my boy Rob wanted us to eat, and we were all hungry, but we weren't gonna force. You can't force somebody to buy something, you know. You can't force somebody to come get a haircut. But I say that to say, you know, if I was making $325 a day, that's some good money, you know. And I remember making some good checks that I didn't have to struggle, even as a young man. Like I was at one time making more money than my parents, almost combined, at like 19, 20 years old. So whenever you see that you can cut 10 heads and get $300, $325, a bike a day. So if I cut 10 heads a day, and you know, it took me an hour or whatever, even if I worked 10 hours a day, I was working 12-hour days at Harley Davidson. But that was because I wanted to. Could you imagine what I'd do if I'd work 12 hours as a barber? I'd make more money than the $325. Hopefully, you know, Lord willing, and eventually, and everything of that nature. But that was what went through my mind, money-wise. So once I saw that the money was a possibility on a trade, a craft, something that I could do. I always wanted to be an artist, but I never had a touch. I never could draw worth a bleep. I couldn't draw at all. Like, I was trash. I struggled on stickman, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I remember Daniel in high school, he could draw or whatever a little bit, but like when I talked to D about it, he was like, man, you remember my drawings? They were trash. And I was like, what? I thought he drew good. But he's like, nah, bro, look at all those other people that were actual artists that could draw. And I'm like, oh, I guess, okay, I get it. I see what you're saying. He's like, bro, it's a craft. You got to put in some hours, you know? And even after I found barbering and started going to barber school, I went through some stuff, you know? I went through the time where I was like, man, I'm not seeing my blends. I see, you know, I don't know how to take these lines out. I don't know how to do this, blah, 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 blah. Woe is me. And it's like, you're feeling down on yourself, but at the same time, bro, you're watching guys that have been cutting hair 4, 15, 20, you know, all these different measures of years. And like, you look at guys like Vic Blends or something, you know, I know he's been cutting for a little while now and everything, but it's like, that's a young man. That man is 19 years old, and he cuts like a OG. And not only that, I'm sure his customer service and service in general is phenomenal, but he's 19, so don't sit here and tell me that you can't do it. Like, you people that are watching that are 15, 16, all these, you know, young cats, y'all are at the right time, bro. You're at the right time. Like, y'all soak it all in, keep learning, stay humble, don't think you know everything, and have a spirit of ignorance, basically wanting to learn. And people think ignorance is stupidity, and it is to a point, but ignorance is if you look up the actual definition, it's just not having the knowledge thereof. And in that case, if you're seeking knowledge and acting as out of ignorance or whatever, trying to grasp, boy, you will pick some stuff up. That hunger will shine through. So anyways, I'm going to try and get on here a little later today. My boy Cooley's I'm probably going to come over. He usually comes over and chills on Mondays or whatever, and we kind of rap about my channel. We rap about, you know, or chop it up. You know, we kind of talk about different things. I'm going to see if I can't get him on camera. I don't know. He's kind of camera shy, so I don't know. We'll see. But if I can get him on here, I'll kind of get his story out of him, hopefully, and produce it to you folks. But I just basically wanted to get on here and explain how I came to barbering, and it was through my boy. My boy showed me that I could be a craftsman and make money like I always said, like I wanted, and not have to go out there and get a law degree, not go out there and have to be the doctor. Because at the end of the day, bro, I'm a blue collar guy. Like, I got tattoos, and I'm not saying, I mean, I've met doctors that got tattoos all over them, bro. I used to sell bike stuff, you know, pharmacists and doctors and lawyers and all this, and that's the thing. I met a lot of them, and they were happy. They were happy, but their work life was not the happiest work life, and I'll be honest. And if you listen to them, every last one of them was talking about follow your passion. Now, I believe in following your passion to a point. You find something that you're passionate about, but passion will only take you so far. You find something that God has gifted you. Like, I'm very passionate about barbering, but I think barbering is my platform. I feel like barbering is going to take me places that the Lord is meant for me to go. Like, I don't cut the best hair yet, but I'm getting experience and I'm learning, and the personal gratification, like, is phenomenal. You gotta find your own peace out there and everything, but find your peace. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna get back on here hopefully in a little while. My wife's off today, but I think she's going with Sheena, her best friend, to the mall. So we're gonna try and get this today. We're gonna try and edit this out and post it. We're gonna see what y'all think, alright? We'll be back with y'all. Okay guys, I'm back. So I had a little break in between there from my finishing the video basically. I chatted up with my boy Daniel and kind of got his story. I was right, he's camera shy. My boy he wanted to tell his story, but he doesn't want to do it on camera really, you know. But I've kind of pretty much had it summed up in the fact of he had gone to corrosion technology. He went to school. He thought it was going to be something a little different. He basically intended to use that knowledge from corrosion technology and everything to learn about blade steels and stuff like that and go work for a knife company, big knife guy. And it wound up being absolutely zero to do with like anything other than the oil field. And so Daniel was like, I don't want to work oil field, and he went and talked to a barber that had been, a barber in our area for a while. And we knew that he always had nice things, or like he always had very nice trucks and stuff like that, and never looked, wore nice clothes, looked well groomed, ate nice places, etc. So it never looked like he was struggling, and always had a wad of money, And Daniel basically told me he had looked online, Google, whatever, Bing, blah, 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 and searched how much a barber makes. And at the time, whenever we were a little younger, it was pretty skewed. It said like the average barber made like 25 grand, he told me. And when he looked at that in high school, that just blew him away. He's like, oh my God, I can't be a barber, can't make 25 grand and barely eat. So anyways, he wound up going to talk to Micah, and he wound up asking him how much he made, and he basically told him he made a lot more money than 25 grand, and that was because some people might not be claiming their taxes quite right and stuff. And that's kind of something I'm gonna get into on the channel a little later. That's another topic I wanna address and brush on, because that's one of the things I feel like a lot of barbers and things like that don't get to talk about too much, is the taxes, the business side, everything other than just the cutting side. So anyways, I'm gonna finish this up, edit this out, post this up hopefully today. Today is Wednesday. I think we're gonna start today with a little bit of theory, and other than that, I'm probably gonna cut some heads. I cut heads almost all day yesterday, like back to school cuts are here. So anyways, like I said, I'm gonna get in here in a second. I'm quite a bit early today to school, so yeah, you guys have a blessed day, and other than that, ride on.